Good morning, team. It is another amazing week of the stock market. Today is July 18th. Looking at the overall, basically, earnings whispers. So, this is the earnings calendar. We are in earnings season. So, welcome back, right? So, every 3 months, stocks have earnings telling you how good or poorly they've been doing for the last 3 months and what are the expectations for the future. So, definitely want to pay attention to the stocks on this list, especially if you like these kind of stocks or the companies per se. Um, Monday, no real company that I pay attention to besides Bank of America and Goldman Sachs, Charles Schwab. They basically Goldman Sachs actually already beat. I don't know about Bank of America or Charles Schwab yet, but Bank of America is a stock that I've traded in the past. Going on to Tuesday, main one that people may be watching are going to be Johnson and Johnson, especially with the vaccines and stuff. And then we have Netflix as well on Tuesday. So definitely want to pay attention to see how Netflix reacts after hours on Tuesday. Is it going to beat? Is it going to miss? Next one on Wednesday, we have basically the NASDAQ has earnings, and then we have Tesla after hours, and we have even Discovery after hours too, Discover card. So Tesla is going to be a big one that people are going to be watching this week as well to see how they're doing, if they're going to beat or miss. And Thursday we have AT&T, we have the Dow, we have was it Domino's Pizza, we have Snap, we have Cap One, and that's pretty much it for Thursday that I pay attention to. And then also on Friday we have Verizon. So these are key companies, Verizon and Twitter. I didn't even notice Twitter. I'm probably missing a few, American Express as well too, but Verizon and Twitter, probably key ones people are going to be watching, especially Twitter with the Elon Musk deal. So these are some key companies you want to watch. Make sure you guys are cautious. Earnings is very risky, but you guys already know that, but earnings are very risky. Make sure you guys pay attention. Whether you're holding a stock overnight, if it has earnings the next day, because the news can drastically affect the stock's movement. On Thursday, I forgot to mention that we actually have American Airlines announcing earnings as well too. So definitely want to pay attention to that as well. The aircraft sector or the aircraft sector has been basically struggling with overall gas prices and stuff like that, pilot shortages. So that's another key one to watch. So there are a few ones that I'm missing. So definitely want to pay attention to that overall list. Next one we're going to talk about is basically the economical calendar for this week, right? So today we don't really have too much news. Tomorrow, no real news. Wednesday, no real news. Thursday, initial jobless claims. That's always a big one to see, hey, how many people are filing for unemployment? Where do we stand? And that's pretty much it for this week. So we have no crazy news besides Friday. We have the PMI flash. So definitely want to see what that's going to be about. That comes out 9:45 after the market opens. And that's pretty much it for this week. So let's get into the chart. So we're going to start off on the SPY 1 year, 1 day chart. Reason being, we want to get the overall large picture of what's going on with the SPY, right? As you guys may know, or if you don't know, the SPY is actually up and green this morning. So what is going on? Why is the market green, right? So looking at the overall market, we found some type of strong support at this 370 zone where we actually more than triple bottom right over here. We basically bounced off of it multiple times, right? At that 370 zone. We pushed up and we broke 382. 382 is the 1 year trade line, the 1 year EMA. As soon as you cross it to the upside, that is confirmation of bullishness, right? So we're holding above that. Not only that, we have the 1 year MACD crossed up ever since June 27. So it never really crossed down. If it was to cross down, then we could confirm some real bearishness. But since June 27th, it hasn't crossed down, which would have basically led to a lower low, right? It would have basically broke this 362 and possibly went lower from there. So that's something to pay attention to as well. Definitely want to watch that 1 year and see how we're going to move over here. But right now we are holding above 382, and let's drop down towards the 180 day, right? So we're going to drop down towards the 180 day 4 hour. As you can see, we are above the SMA for the first time in a long time. We're above that SMA, right? The SMA was at 385. We are at 388 right now. So that is a crazy moment to watch, right? So we haven't been above this level since June 9th, where you can see we actually tried to hold above it before and we actually broke. We went sideways and then we basically broke down on June 9th, but we haven't seen the SMA or been above it since June 9th. You can see we basically dropped from that 406 down towards 362. We bounced up, tried to retest it over here, came right back down, tried to retest it again. And then we came right back down, and now we're basically breaking above. And actually, if you was to draw a line from the bottom, right, in hindsight, if you was to draw a line from the 362 to where it is at right now, it kind of looks like it was a ascending flag. You never know. But anywho, looking at the overall stock right now, what can we expect today, right? What are the charts telling us? Overall, first thing I like to look at is the RSI. RSI is extremely overbought on the 180 day. What does that mean, right? The possibility for upside is a lot less than downside, right? So the possibility for downside is greater right now. So definitely want to be cautious when you have an overbought RSI. These are not levels that you possibly want to buy into. Can it continue to go up? Yes, it can, right? Is it safe? No, it isn't. So that's one thing you always want to keep in your mind when you're buying a stock that's overbought. As you can see, we are starting to pull back slightly right now. So that's one thing to watch out for today, right? We are very overbought on the 180 day. MACD is crossed up in a bullish position. We could pull back, bounce, go right back up, but we are overbought and you want to be cautious of that as well, right? So make sure if you do go for those long positions, understand that we're overbought and it can be possibly short-lived, right? So let's watch out for that. If we do break out for an upside, we want to watch for the break of 389, right? Let's drop down towards the 1 minute to get the exact high of pre-market, right? 389.45. So 389.45 is the pre-market high, and that's going to be the level you want to watch out for today to see if we break above 385.45, right? No, 389.45. I'm losing it. 389.45. So watch out for that level to be broken before we could actually start pushing up and going higher. And then once we break that, we could possibly retest 393. 393 was a double top zone in the past, and we actually came back from there, right? So watch for that 389.45 towards that 394 zone. If we do start to come back down, we have a few levels to watch, and then we're going to have to drop down towards the 20-day to actually notice to see where we could possibly go. Looking at the 20-day, we are above that 20-day trade line, which is confirmation of bullishness right now. You can see the 20-day RSI is red. As long as we stay in the red zone, we can continue to go up. Once we start to come out this red zone, we can come down. MACD does look like it wants to cross down as well. So definitely watch for the break of 388. And we could possibly get a monster short down towards 385, which is representing, this blue line is representing the 180-day SMA. We could always come back down, retest it, maybe even go lower from there. You never know, or maybe bounce off of it. Always have an open mind when you go into the trading world, right? The market is always against you. Right, so watch out for that 388 down towards 385 and that 389 towards those 394 levels. Next stock we want to talk about is Tesla. Tesla has earnings this week, so you definitely want to be cautious with Tesla and see what's going to happen. You can see we have a little bit of that pre-earnings run up. You can see the telephone and light bulb over here at 720. This is basically where we're going to have that earnings, right? 720, July 20th. Tesla has earnings after hours. So key levels you want to watch on Tesla. Tesla is a little bit more on the overbought side, just like everything else. We're hitting a previous resistance at that 738. If we break 738, we could possibly go higher from here. You can see 738 was a resistance level before. If we break that level, we could start pushing up towards 746, which was a support. If we start to come down, watch for the 20-day break at that 729. If you want to be cautious, wait for 727, and then we could start getting down towards this range, that 715 range on Tesla. Next one we're going to talk about is actually Netflix. We haven't put Netflix on the watch list in a while, but whew, we've been missing out. Look at this bounce over here from 175 to 192. Was this, yeah, amazing bounce on Netflix. And that's another thing. You guys want to keep track of what stocks have earnings as well, especially before they have earnings. Look at them a week or two before, because then you could capture possible run-ups or run pullbacks before they have earnings, right? So let's jump over towards the 180 day over here to see what's going on with Netflix. So Netflix is pushing up pre-earnings, so we definitely want to watch to see what's going to overall happen. It is a little bit more on the overbought side, so we're seeing a reoccurring trend where a lot of stocks are overbought. A lot of times it's good to do these watch lists like this, where we're looking at multiple companies and looking at the RSIs, and now we could basically get a feel of what's going on with the overall market, right? So if Netflix wants to be basically a vengeful and break that 195, we could start basically pushing up towards 201. 201 was a previous resistance level before, so definitely want to watch to see if we push back up to that level. It is more on the overbought side, so you definitely want to be cautious. And if we possibly have a pullback this morning on Netflix, main level you want to watch is the break of that trade line. Once we start to break that trade line, that is a confirmation of bearishness, and we can start coming back down lower. So watch for the break below 190 down towards 186 on Netflix. Next one we're going to talk about is Apple. So Apple has earnings coming up. Apple's earnings is actually, I believe, next week on the 28th, or is that next week, right? So on the 28th, 151 is the high for Apple. Apple has basically been an outcast right now in a good way, meaning that, hey, Apple has been strong even though when the market was showing weakness, and Apple is still showing strength right now. So definitely want to watch to see if we break that 152, and then we can start basically pushing up towards 157. Apple is a little bit more on the overbought side. If we do start to come down, watch for the break of the trade line at 149 down towards 146. So that's going to be it. I know this is kind of a long video, but we definitely wanted to cover what stocks had earnings, what stocks we're watching, the overall plan for today. Are we going to continue to hold these highs? You can see we're already starting to pull back. This is a 4-hour candle rejecting that 389 zone. So let's see what happens. Are we going to retest this SMA over here? Are we going to come back here and bounce off of it? Are we going to find some type of support over here and try to retest a high at 389 and break out? We'll find out. Hopefully you guys all have a green trading day. Make sure you guys use a stop loss. Make sure you guys look at the overall larger picture, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Later.